Hey friends, happy Monday. We are going to be going over some sight words today. I'm actually going to slide this bottom one up because I noticed you can't see it in my video. So what you're going to need is your whiteboard and your marker because we're going to be writing a couple of sentences with these. So I just want to make sure that you have everything that you need. So while you're grabbing your whiteboard and marker, we're going to go over what these words are. If you know the words when I point to them, go ahead and say them out loud, okay? What's this word? Always. What's this word? Around. What's this word? Because. And what's this word? Been. Good. Let's read them together. Always. Around. Because. Been. Let's read them the other way. Been. Because. Around. Always. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to write a sentence for these words. So I'm going to give you some example sentences. And remember, these are my sentences from my brain. I want you to come up with your own sentences from your brain. So your sentences have to be different from my sentences. So for example, for always, I might say, I am always in the mood for ice cream. Around, I might say, hey, I think I've seen you around here before. Because I really like ice cream because I love sweet foods. Been, I have been to school every single day this week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little bit of time and I want you to say sentences out loud for these. So you don't have to write them down yet. I just want you to say a sentence out loud. So I'm going to point to the word and you're going to say the sentence that you think of. Always. Now what's your sentence for around? And a sentence for because. And a sentence for been. Good. So now I'm going to give you about 20 seconds, and what I want you to do is pick one of your sentences, either the sentence you picked for always, around, because, or been, and write it on your whiteboard. So go ahead and write one sentence using at least one of these sight words on your whiteboard. You're going to need the sentence later, so you're going to want to make sure that you write it down right now. We're about halfway there. Go ahead and finish up your sentence. Okay, so as you're finishing up writing your sentence using one of these sight words, I'm going to remind you of what we read last in our story, The Chocolate Touch. So the last part of our story, we saw that John found a silver quarter, but it wasn't a quarter because it had a picture of a fat boy on one side, he said, and the other side had JM, which is also his initials. He brought it into the candy shop, and the store owner was asking him questions like, are you sure you don't want to keep this coin? Are you sure you want to spend it on chocolate? And John was like, absolutely, I'll spend it on chocolate. That's my favorite. So the last part we left off on was the storekeeper saying, hey, just go help yourself. Grab one of those boxes of chocolate, you'll be all set. And John was like, whoa, these boxes of chocolate are massive. They're as big as the ones that my dad buys us for Christmas. So we're going to pick up from there, okay? Just help yourself, the storekeeper assured him. That is, unless you think it might be better to ask your mother first. She wouldn't mind, John said hastily and blushed. The storekeeper winked knowingly. I'm sure she won't, he agreed. Not in the long run, anyway. John tucked one of the large boxes under his arm, declined the shopkeeper's offer to wrap it as a gift, thanked him, and hurried out of the store before there could be any question of anyone's changing his mind. The storekeeper smiled as he watched his customer hurrying away down the street. Now remember, we did talk a little bit about how the storekeeper was acting a little bit weird. He seemed to be asking John questions that he already knew the answer to, which was pretty strange. And now he's just watching him smiling as he's walking away. John decided that it might be sensible to enter his house quietly by way of the kitchen. With the large candy box hidden behind him, he let himself in by the back door and crept up the kitchen stairway on tiptoe toward his own room on the top floor. Just as he was about to round the corner on the second floor to continue his way upstairs, he had to stop for a moment while his father walked by, coming along the hall from the bedroom telephone. So remember, John is not supposed to be eating any chocolate. So he stops because he hears his dad coming because he's trying to sneak this massive, giant box of chocolates up to his room. "That was Mr. Buttercup on the phone," Mr. Midas called to Mrs. Midas as he walked down the front stairs. "She said she was sorry John hadn't been able to get over to play with Susan this afternoon. But it was a good thing in a way," she thought, "because Susan's already so excited about her birthday party tomorrow. I wonder where John can have gone to." As soon as the second floor was quiet again and John knew there was no danger that his candy box would be seen, he hurried silently up to his bedroom, pushed open the door, and slid the box under the bed. Then he walked heavily down to the living room. "Well, there you are," said Mrs. Midas. "We couldn't imagine where you had been. What have you been doing?" "Oh, just sort of playing around," John said. I'm starting to think that truthful is not a character trait that describes John. I'm thinking that he might be a little bit of a liar or a fibber because he's not telling his parents the truth about a lot of things, like when they asked him what he had eaten or where he had been. He's not being very honest. John usually took a long time to put his things away and undress and bathe and get ready for bed, for he thought sleeping was a waste of time. But this evening, he started yawning long before his usual bedtime. Sleepy," John announced. "All right," said Mrs. Midas. "You'd better be getting to bed. Time for your tonic." John's tonic came in a bottle. It had been prescribed by Dr. Cranium. John had to drink a big spoonful every night to make up for all the vegetables and fruit that he had left on his plate at lunch and dinner. The tonic tasted like soap, mud, glue, ink, and paint. It tasted horrible. Much to Mrs. Midas' surprise, John ran ahead of her to the dining room cupboard where the tonic and the tonic spoon were kept. By the time she got there, she had already filled the spoon. Then, without any coaxing, he emptied it into his mouth. "Ugh," John sputtered. "Oof, bah." "That's a very good boy," Mrs. Midas said. "Now why can't you be sensible and eat up your nice dinner that way? If you'd only stop eating so much candy, you'd be able to eat your meals properly, and you wouldn't need to take tonic." Soon, John was scrubbed and in his pajamas and in bed, ready to be tucked in for the night. Mrs. Midas sat on the bed and stroked his forehead for a moment. Then she leaned forward and kissed his cheek. John, pretending that he was very sleepy, shut his eyes and began breathing deeply. When Mrs. Midas rejoined Mr. Midas in the living room, she said, "I've never known John to be so good about going to bed before. He went to sleep in no time." Okay, so here you go, friends. I need you to do two things. So you're going to go either down to the link in the description box or hit the link through my schedule. And what you're going to do is you are going to write the sentence using your sight word that you already did on your whiteboard. So all you have to do is type it in. So the first thing you need to do is write the sentence that you wrote using one of these sight words. And the second thing you'll see on that Google form is that you also need to tell me what you think John is actually doing. So I need you to make an inference. You know that John came home and snuck that box of chocolates in his room, and you also know that he usually doesn't go to bed very easily. Now, he was yawning and saying he was really tired, and his mom made the comment that, oh, I'm so glad that he went to bed this easily. I've never known him to do that before, which means he usually doesn't do it. So I want you to make an inference. What do you think John is actually doing? Do you think that John is actually sleepy? That's the second question on the Google form. So good luck. Go ahead and click the link down here or click it in my schedule and fill out that Google form. See you soon, friends.